What's good, YouTube? SlimTv here to put a center to on this new topic. Now, today we got, I guess, Brittney Renner started some type of podcast. If you guys don't know who Brittney Renner is, I guess she's like, honestly, I'm not too familiar with her either. I've seen her around. She wrote a book about all of her like sexual encounters, and so she's kind of famous for being a controversial figure within the manosphere. Usually, like, they call her on just to debate with her about body count and, you know, a bunch of petty nonsense, in my opinion. But yeah, so she started a podcast. She got Just Pearly Things on here, and that's another person that was famous for a little bit. She did a podcast, and she was like, she was trying to be like the Shahrazad Ali for of this generation, where like she would speak in defense of men. And you know, my whole thing about that is, you know, we could defend ourselves, man. We don't need a female white savior. No offense to my white brethren, but we don't need a female white savior to come in on a pink pony to save us from our despairs within the society. Regardless, let's get into it. Apparently there's a little bit of beef that happens within here, so I'm gonna just, you know, talk on it and chime in.
He switched up once, I can't switch up again, so I can't go back now. I done already made the decision. So gentlemen sweep. Boston just wanted to go home, so they gonna get it at home.
Okay, they went in front of her. Dallas is staying home. So here we go.
Yeah,
outside.
Who's gonna take it game 5 back in Boston?
I'm rolling the dice still on the same side that I'm staying on the same side.
Loyal to the soil.
Yeah, we gonna hold it down. Come on, and you know what? I gotta say, I think that when it comes,
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I mean, this one in the black, she probably looked the best on the panel. She looked good. You know, I don't know what her ideologies or anything like that is. I mean, I'm a real picky guy, so like I want to see like where her mindset is at. But you know, she looked good. Already she looks like she's the best looking on this podcast, bro. Brittney Renner is automatically out simply because I know a little bit about her history, and just her attitude is just ridiculous. I wouldn't be able to handle it.
comes down to the energy behind it, we're gonna see like the real beast be unleashed. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm trying to manifest it just like we did with our color palette here today. I want to see, and again, I want to see it on both sides. Like, I want to see Boston show up too. I'm a little disappointed. Okay, maybe disappointed is kind of a strong word, but I guess more maybe like surprised, I guess. But at the same time, these guys are playing like back-to-back games on a million. But you know, the numbers today, the figures today on Boston's like main side today was tough. But again, I do attribute that to the Dallas defense, and I do want to continue to see that. So let's go, Dallas. Let's keep getting these dubs.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, of course, I would love for the Mavs to win. I've kind of said that, though. But it's just kind of hard because Lucky the Leprechaun, he's been pretty consistent with just keeping the energy pretty set there. So,
Okay, so I wonder how many dudes she knows on those basketball teams, because she has a history of basically getting with basketball players and trying to get with athletes. If I'm not mistaken, I thought she had a baby with somebody. I don't know, man. I mean, the lore runs deep. Again, I really don't care about Brittney Renner or any of these people, but there's a lesson to be learned here, so let's just continue.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm just not convinced after tonight's win. I just am not. It seems kind of fluky. And then I also feel like, I'm sorry, it just seems fluky. And then I feel it's going to be different being at Boston.
Yeah, it's definitely pride.
Yeah.
Like, you have a lot of pride when you come off a loss where you know you didn't play your best basketball. You know, like, you're the guy. Luka's the guy. Luka's that dude.
Yeah.
And he's going to show up, but he has to be in games. And I know he felt the way about fouling out of game 3. So it's not surprising that you're fighting for your life, and that's essentially what he has to do. But there's history on the line. No team has ever come back from being down 3-0 to win a championship. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I am saying it is highly improbable that Dallas is going to be able to pull out 4 straight.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that either. But may the odds ever be in your favor.
Time out, bro. So I haven't been keeping up with basketball. I haven't watched basketball seriously since I was a big Miami Heat fan when LeBron played for the Heat, and then I think I mean, honestly, I just follow LeBron everywhere. I mean, wherever he went, I was a fan of him. I'm a fan of no man now, but regardless, you get what I'm saying. So the last time I was really watching basketball, I think the Pacers and Golden State were in a final series. I think. I mean, yeah, bro. Like that's been. I really don't even know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been that long. But I want to check and see who did win. NBA championship finals. Yeah, I just want to know. They're saying that Dallas isn't gonna win. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like the Celtics won. Yep. Yeah, so it looks like they were right. Wait, no. I think. Yeah. Yep. Looks like the Celtics won. So yeah, their predictions. They were just kind of bandwagoning.
So now we're moving right along to a segment called Panel Pull Out. Pull out. I see what we did there. So each host will pull.
Now she's just playing to the whole fact that she's known as a sexual entity. I mean, that's cool and all, but that panel pullouts, we could think of a better name, bro. Like, come on. I think that was a little corny.
Something from the internet or socials that they would like to address with that specific host. Sounds a little messy. We're going to start with Pearl.
Sounds so messy.
Okay, so I don't know how many shows do a segment like this, but let me look at her face, man. She look evil as hell right here. She look like she ready to start some trouble. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen this video, but and let me just point this out as well. Look at this tattoo. She has Malevolent, Maleficent, whatever the hell her name is. She has her tattooed on her arm. It's like, come on, bro. People show you who they are, bro, all the time. And she has a literal Disney demon tattooed on her arm, and then we look at her face looking mischievous as hell. It's like, damn, bro. But anyway, what I was trying to say is, how many shows have a segment to where they purposely try and start some type of drama on the show? It shows that they don't really have much to talk about, or they feel like their insights alone aren't enough, so they want to add a little bit of spice to the show. And there's nothing wrong with adding a little bit of spice to your show, okay? I mean, I get it. People want to be entertained, but there's a certain way you have to do it. If you add too much hot sauce to a dish, it'll start to taste more vinegary than hot saucy. You know what I'm saying? The vinegar in the hot sauce will make it. Or is there even vinegar in hot sauce? I mean, you catch my drift though. If you put too much hot sauce on a dish, it'll overtake the dish, and then it might be too hot, and people won't really like it because you just mask the flavor with hot sauce. You have to add maybe a dose or two of hot sauce on there. Evenly spread across the dish so that the whole dish can meld with the hot sauce in a good way. That's fine. But doing something like this where you're basically outright calling out somebody else, it's a little petty, and catch somebody on the wrong day and you get a mess. So let's continue.
We're gonna start with Pearl.
I'm first?
Yes. I mean, at first, yeah.
Okay, so I saw something that you retweeted, Brittney. And it was something about, and it was something.
Nah, you don't get to say tread lightly with me when you're the one who made this segment. See, this is the whole thing, man. The fact that she had to say that, she's already feeling some type of way. She's already a little mad.
About female intuition.
Okay.
And I just don't think female intuition exists. I think female intuition is terrible.
I think it's terrible in what way?
We make terrible choices as women. So people will always say, "Oh, my female intuition, I knew because of my female intuition." And yeah, I don't think it's really a thing.
Well, intuition, just simply.
I think female intuition exists, but the way that Brittney's trying to explain it, I mean, the way that Pearl is saying that Brittney explained it is that female intuition is something that females use to make good decisions. Because intuition means that like you have an inkling about something. It's like your gut feeling, right? A man's gut feeling is usually spot on. I'm not even gonna hold you, but a woman's, it may be spot on. Like they I feel like they do have the intuition, but their emotions override the intuition, if I'm being honest. So with that being said, the way that I think that it exists more so with their children, and I'm gonna tell you why. They always say that a mother knows. See, when a mother is thinking about her children, emotions are more so out the window, because it's more about making sure that the child is safe. So sometimes, even if, like, let's say that, like, the child is at school and the mom is at home, sometimes the mom will be like, well, damn, I don't know what's wrong, but I'm gonna call up to the school and check on my son. They call up to the school, and sure enough, the son is sick with the flu or something. You know, there's been cases and instances where that has happened. So I do believe that mothers have some type of connection with their children that is kind of beyond explanation to a degree. But when it comes to just everyday life that don't involve their children, I'm gonna have to agree with Pearl on that, man. I think that even if they do have an intuition or a gut feeling, if their emotions are strong enough, they will just ignore that feeling to follow their emotions, and then they get caught up in a whirlwind of troubles, whether that's having kids out of wedlock and becoming a baby mama with 4 different kids, or whether, you know, that's running up their credit card and getting into major debt. I mean, I'm not saying every woman has this or is prone to do something like this, but I mean, it's definitely not something that doesn't happen. Let's continue.
Put is heightened awareness. And so it stems from when women were at home with children and had to be tuned into what was going on. So intuition doesn't just stop at children, it's across the board. So if you aren't tuned into your intuition, that's a you thing.
No. I just look at the choices we make, you know.
We are you.
We as women. I mean, look at.
So, Pearl is trying to explain it in a broad sense. Brittney Renner is taking this a little too personal. Talking about the choices that you make. I mean, because she's saying as women, so she's saying as a whole. Of course, there are exceptions to the rule. So, Brittney, if you're the exception to the rule, why get offended?
What kind of choices do you make?
Okay, what kind of choices do you make, Brittney?
And now she made it personal. See,
you're the one we're talking. You're saying that females don't make good choices.
Well,
so
look, we own the majority. I have no debt, right? But women in general.
That's because you're from a rich family, girl.
In general, women.
You're from a rich family, so what are you talking about? No debt, girl.
Okay, look, I understand that not everybody is fortunate, but I believe that most people can avoid debt. It's really not that hard, bro. Get a job, keep a stable job for a little bit, save up some cash, and then get a credit card. So then that way, whenever you pay for something, you pay it off. I mean, I explained this in the video where I was talking about NEETs. I'll probably put that video up in the corner, or however the hell you do that. But you catch my drift, right? So I'm not in any debt, and you know. I'm not going to jinx myself, because there may be a point in time where I have to maybe incur some debt in order to do something I'm trying to do. But even then, I'm going to be smart about it. Well, let's continue. My whole point is that all because somebody is rich or poor, that doesn't mean that they're in debt or not in debt. You know, it's more about the choices that somebody makes in their personal life and how they go about it.
Girl.
Women in general have a
congratulations. Like, you don't get fish don't get applauded for
I'm
swimming.
lucky. That's why I said I'm lucky.
Okay, so for you, so why lead with that? So why lead with that? So why lead with that?
For an example,
Pearl, there's no luck. There's no luck with that. There's no luck at all. Even if you weren't rich, it's about the decisions we make. Once again, you would be lucky if maybe I don't know. You would be lucky if $10,000 just dropped into your bank account. You would be lucky if you entered into a sweepstakes and actually won that, and then you won a cruise or a lifetime supply of Jolly Ranchers. That would be lucky. The choices that you make in your life, that's not luck. That's forethought.
I'm going to give it to you. Do you want me to start?
Girl, okay. Let me tell you what
let's talk about
what we're not gonna do, because you have a history of doing this. Because I'm
okay. So Brittney, how is this segment supposed to go? How is it? Because right now it's called, what's it called? Pullouts, player pullouts, or whatever the hell. If you're gonna get defensive, And if you're gonna get mad, shouldn't there be like maybe Brittney has about 4 minutes to speak, and then you have a rebuttal, and then it's done after that, or maybe the other two chime in, say what they think, and then that party's over, and then you move on to the next person? Because with how this is set up, it's only ever going to be trouble. You know what's funny, man? I had my cousin. He was talking about, yeah, man, women can be friends. Women can, women just know how to go out and have fun. And to an extent, that's true. But this is really what happens behind the scenes. This is why you always hear about women friend groups breaking up, or a woman friend group is always having issues with one of the members in the group. It's because they're always starting some type of drama. This segment is only about drama. This is all this is about. Again, it's to garner views, but furthermore, the way that she's doing it isn't conducive for a positive atmosphere.
I'm familiar with you, okay? Girl, what you like to do is you like to say these really stupid fucking comments, right? And then so what you do, then you like sit back and then you're like, you think you're so smart, you have this fucking smug ass look on your face, and then you're waiting for someone to give you that like emotional, like passionate response. So then you can sit there and be super dismissive and really kind of just gaslight. And I don't know, as a female.
Gaslight?
Like, no. Yeah, do you know what that word is?
I don't think there was any gaslighting in that comment, because gaslighting is basically like when you know what you're doing, but then you backtrack and you try and make it seem like you didn't do what you do. Pearl said what she wanted to say. She's never backtracked since then. Right now she's standing on her point. Even though I don't agree with her saying that she was lucky, because again, that's the part of it is the choices that she made. Yeah, she may be born into a rich family, so she may be better off. But from here on out, I mean, she's had her own podcast on YouTube before it got demonetized. So she's also tried other money-making endeavors, I'm sure. Regardless of if her family is rich, she still went out and did something, because there are other rich people who kind of just ride on their family's coattails until their parents die off, and then they take the money and inheritance and do whatever with it. So I can at least applaud her for that. She's out here trying to do something, So let's continue.
What means?
You guys use it for everything.
You guys.
Go ahead.
Okay, you know what's funny about using you guys is
Okay.
seriously, it kind of feels like the only thing that is actually feminine about you is that you have a vagina.
Okay.
Because I feel like, there's like a man on the panel.
Okay, what's feminine about you, Brittney?
Everything is feminine about me.
Oh, come on. Like, I'm not trying to go.
Brittney, writing a book about all your sexual encounters, is that truly femininity? I mean, let's be real. Is that ladylike, Brittney? Your argument would probably be something like, well, yeah, I'm just showing how, I've my dealings with men, and basically how that went about. But disclosing what you do in the bedroom in detail, I haven't read the book, so correct me if I'm wrong about what's actually in the book, but disclosing what you have done in the bedroom in detail, that is hardly ladylike. I mean, and then coming on the internet and talking about it 24/7. I mean, come on, bro. And furthermore, you having this debate isn't really ladylike in itself because of the masculine energy you're giving off and trying to be overly aggressive. So right here, this whole thing is ridiculous. And I just want to say this as well, because this is originally what I wanted to title the video. Brittney harbors a lot of resentment towards Pearl. And resentment, jealousy, envy, anger. I mean, it can come from any one of those things. Or sometimes, when you meet somebody, you just don't like them. And so with that being said, it's important that when you feel that you have resentment towards somebody, you either find a way to rectify it or leave them the hell alone. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the only way you really rectify it is by addressing them in private about what the problem that you have with them. Now, in some instances, some people aren't necessarily ready for that conversation, so you might just need to leave them alone. And when you have resentment, it's really important that you temper it. It's important that you don't allow it to cause you to make emotional decisions. You know, i.e., how Brittney is handling this right now. This is overly emotional. For this to be a business, or for this to be a podcast that they're actually trying to grow, it's overly emotional. Overly emotional.
Personal here. So I don't know why you're trying to make this personal.
No, you made it personal when you
No, I
when
said
you led with,
when
hey, I don't have any
I
debt.
don't know.
As if that's a flex because your parents have money.
You asked.
What have you actually earned for yourself?
Brittney, you asked me. I'm saying in general, women own the majority of debt. We don't make great choices. If we
Girl.
look at who we pick, let's look at romantic decisions. Women don't make very good romantic decisions
I
in
think
general.
there's a point that needs to be made though, and that's the fact that what I heard Brittney say earlier was she's talking about people who have there's a deep heightened intuition, and I think where the conversation is splitting is the fact that you're actually talking about people who don't have that, who have it turned off. Who are
That is a broad majority of people. Common sense is not common. So, honestly, the person, she's not really adding much to the conversation because that is pretty much what Brittney was saying. By and large, do women have an intuition? That is the conversation. So, yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Brittney on that. Not Brittney, Pearl. By and large, honestly, do most people have common sense and intuition? No. The answer is no. So, for them to take it so personal, it's ridiculous.
are disconnected
Like her.
from their intuition, who don't make poor decisions. We make poor decisions. Like when we actually go down to the root of why it is that we make these poor decisions, there's layers and layers and layers and layers to it. And more of it is going to come from just like the science and backing that you kind of put into collective bundles that ultimately just come from who? The white man that you were raised by. So when
You know, I just don't appreciate when people try and use big words. She's talking about, yeah, scientific collective bundles. And then she ends it with the white man that you are raised by. If we took each and every one of these women into a private room and asked them that same question and said, by and large, do people have common sense, number one? By and large, do people have accurate intuition? Yes or no? If they are as smart as they claim that they are, they would all say no. So right now, this is just ridiculous.
so when
That's the reason that she doesn't have any debt.
I'm just saying. So there's a certain
you
level of
asked
understanding that's not there.
So that's not you making a decision. That's you being born into white privilege, and we need you to acknowledge that. So that's not a decision that you made. That is the way you came into this. And honestly, girl, you're a family of like 9.
It was not given. I don't have any debt. Again, other people are more well off than others, right? So some people, you know, as soon as they turn 18, their parents kick them out. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not fortunate. You know, my parents, you know, I'm still around. You know, they still let me kick it. So I can see where they're saying some people are forced into debt. I mean, that's something that we can't just ignore, right? Or some people make the decision to go into debt thinking that they're gonna be able to pay it off later. The whole thing is, though, is that at the end of the day, it's still a choice. Nobody is forcing anybody to go into debt. Nobody is forcing anybody to make some of these terrible decisions, you know? Like, here's the thing. So with loans and stuff, that's a little different because you actually have to have good credit in order to get a good loan. So let's say you want to get a loan to buy a house, or you want to get a loan to buy a car. Your credit already has to be at a certain level for them to approve your loan to buy the car. Assuming that your credit is already in a good standing, that means that you have a job and you're able to pay off that credit in a timely manner. So if you're using your credit card let's say you're using your credit card to buy groceries, and each time you go to the grocery store, with this economy, it's costing you about $150 just to get some eggs, some bread, you know, the essentials, you know. You're not getting anything more than what you need. So it costs you about $150, right? If you have an actual job, and if you're saving your money in the correct way, you should be able to pay that off instantly. So you're building credit while, you know, working And so then you may be able to get a loan, and then from there you can do different things with that loan, if you're actually savvy. But I'm trying to look at it from a perspective to where I'm acknowledging how other people have, issues in this area that we're discussing right now. And right now, the only thing I'm seeing is that for the most part, it's a lack of good choices. Seriously, and the thing is, I can understand people using their credit. Maybe, so let's say you use your credit at Home Depot to buy a tool, right? And that tool, it's a $600 or so $1,000 lawnmower. And what you plan to use that lawnmower for is not only for your yard, but you're also going to be starting to cut other yards. See, that's smart. I can see that. But you go to the mall, you see a chain that you like, you don't have the money for it, you pull out your credit card, and you just enter frivolous debt, and you're not looking to pay back. Or you don't have the funds to pay it back at that very moment. That's not wise. Anytime that you borrow money from the government or you're using a credit card, you need to have that money in your bank. But I just went on a tangent about credit. Let's just finish this out and see how this ends.
Under 10, like all that's how your dad set you up. So there are things that you genuinely did not have to experience. Right. You don't fucking know. You get to sit there again, smug as fuck. So you don't even
see. So that right there, again, that is resentment. That is built up resentment that Brittney has had for Pearl for a long time. And I think that the resentment that she has, just my guess, is that she is basically she's angry at Pearl for not having that, that mindset, or that beehive mindset, that mindset where everything that all the girls on the panel say is right, and we all just sit back and sip tea, and we all agree with each other. What is the point of this segment if it's not to bring to light, disagreements that we have with one another in a more, not in a polite way, but in a dignified manner, to where we can actually come to a agreement and shed some light on the situation instead of yelling at each other and just leaving the situation in ignorance. Because nobody's going to come out of this situation with a different mindset. Nobody's going to come out of this specific interaction thinking, wow, you know what? Pearl said something enlightening. Brittney added to that point, said her point of view, and we were able to come to an agreement that actually made sense. That's not going to happen. Let's continue.
You are the same person that the last time I saw you accidentally. No, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking. And you get to go. You're the same person who accidentally spent $50,000 and your dad was able to pay it off on your credit card. Yes, you did when you spent.
I didn't actually.
You're the one who said an accident. I spent over my limit. That's what you said. That's what you said. So again, an unreal. That's what you said. That's what you said. The last time that I saw you. Yeah. So again, we're going back to you. Your girl. What the shit that comes. That's what I'm saying. The shit that comes out of your mouth. You literally just say whatever.
What are you? Why are you getting so mad over?
Because honestly, you're fucking delusional.
Brittney.
Don't Brittney. Go ahead.
Brittney,
I do think there's one thing. I think there's one thing that we have to say.
If you're gonna yell at me, I'm not gonna do the show. Like you don't have to. You don't have to scream at me. That's so disrespectful. I'm not here to get like that's like you don't have to be rude. I don't.
This whole. I ain't holding shit. The fuck on. Okay.
So she literally started the own calamity of her own show. I think that having that's the point of a lot of these shows. Okay, so if you look at any type of podcast model, they always bring somebody on who has a differing opinion than everybody else on the panel. Why? Honestly, to cause a little bit of discourse, right? But furthermore, so that the panel isn't totally one-sided. So that the panel has a little bit of that hot sauce I was talking about. So, in my opinion, even though I really don't mess with anybody on this panel, I think that Pearl was actually a good choice. Because you see, Pearl is able to articulate herself in a way to where she actually discusses her points without getting loud and getting annoyed. She'll say her point, and then she's welcoming, the feedback. That's kind of how her original show was set up. But now that she basically came on the show with a hothead and then her lackey, because I see her as her lackey now after that. It's not able to flow in the way that an actual podcast should flow. You know, because when you have a hothead plus her lackey, nobody's really able to say a differing point without causing some type of backlash or over the top emotional hoopla, you know. So I think that kind of ruined her show. Hopefully she could find somebody else, because I mean, even though again I really don't mess with nobody on this panel and I don't agree with how she was acting, at the same time, you know, I want to see people win. You know, I'd rather have her do this than start her OnlyFans, even though I'm pretty sure she already has OnlyFans. But you catch my drift, right? Let's just watch a little bit more, see what happens, and then I'm gonna end the video.
I still want to hear what you had to say, though. So what did you?
Well, I was about to just get into the point about women and having debt, because the truth of the matter is women don't make as much. It's so
it's layered. It's so layered.
Such a layered conversation. But if this I don't know if we're still recording, but if this right here just got you mad, then my pullout was really gonna make her mad, because I was about to pull out the tweets about black women are racist. How in the fuck do you sit on a panel with 3 black women and say 3 black women are racist? But I'm gonna wait.
No, she's not coming back, because you know what we're now experiencing. This is white fragility. Remember when I said that Caitlyn?
No, Brittney, this is resentment, and this is something that you planned. I think that she pretty much wanted to pop off on her. The fact that this is a new segment. I don't know how long the show has been going. We can look at her channel real quick. You put out this new segment to cause discourse. As soon as she started Pearl off first, as soon as Pearl said something, she pretty much just flipped her lid. Again, I can't necessarily say why she has resentment towards her. I think that she's basically just angry that she's not a part of the woman collective, if you will. She's trying to take a more pragmatic and logical approach to things, and she doesn't really like that. So she's angry about it, and she's always kind of had a ill taste in her mouth for Pearl. Let's just.
And not Caitlyn herself. I'm sorry. Remember when I said that white women are very fragile? That's because of this cushion that has been created for them. So when they are confronted with truth, whether I'm at a 30 or I'm at a 3, the truth doesn't change. The reality is her and I've had conversations where she may think I'm stupid and she's saying a lot without saying a lot. Girl, I'm gonna clock that shit. So you don't get to say women don't make good financial situations.
So you're gonna clock that shit by just yelling, by saying a bunch of curse words and yelling. She didn't really dismantle her point. What she did was she really just took a different angle to the argument and then made her own point. So Pearl was saying, by and large, again, women don't make good decisions. Okay, whatever. She's coming in and saying, you're just talking about yourself. And so it's kind of stupid, because the argument that Pearl was truly making was something that, if you have any common sense, you would have to agree with. You know, we can get into the complexities and nuances of said argument, right? We can look at statistics and we can go deep dive, but in a general argument, most people don't have common sense, bro, and that's just something that she's gonna have to accept. You know, and when it comes to having resentment, man, you know, again, you might meet somebody and you might just not like them off the rip. That's something that everybody kind of has to understand. Not everybody is going to like you, bro. Not everybody is supposed to like you. Shit, it might even be family members and stuff that have a certain set of resentment towards you. And they might just look at you and be like, I'm just not really feeling the guy. It's not nothing personal. It's just me personally. I'm just not. Like, okay, that's cool. That's not necessarily resentment either. That's more so just a preference. But if somebody angers you every time they speak, that's a resentment that has built up what's inside of you for whatever reason. Sometimes people just get mad simply because they don't agree. If they meet somebody that's not willing to agree with them, that pisses them off. You know, you have to be, if you're gonna do a show like this, you have to be willing to accept criticism, and you have to be willing to look at things from different perspectives. So, I think it's really important that we all look within ourselves and check if we have resentment towards anybody, And then, furthermore, once we identify if we have resentment towards anybody, we then need to see what we're going to do about it. Are we simply just going to not talk to that person anymore? Are we going to try and work it out? Or are we going to keep that person at a distance and kind of just do our own thing? I mean, there's answers to the question. It's more so, are you willing to look within yourself and actually, be the solution rather than cause problems like this? So, before we end, I just want to look. At how, okay, so 1 month ago, 2 weeks ago. So this has been going on for months now. Looks like she's been trying to be consistent. Yeah. So this was 2 weeks ago. And then from there, they've been going by themselves. I wonder if they got a fourth panelist. But, hey, regardless, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and comment. Love you guys. Peace. Thanks for watching. Check out my YouTube or my Instagram for more content. Peace.